Warning. This program contains strong language, auditory violence, and mental nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. The Feast of Winter Veil has begun, the tides of vengeance have come ashore, and we are back for the final episode of the year to get you through it all. Welcome to episode 43 of the Unshackled Fury podcast, and this is our live, quote-unquote, year-end Christmas show where there's no editing, no rules, but definitely a cup full of booze. And with me on this merry cavalcade of chicanery is the one and only Mr. Navox. Welcome to the last show of the year, sir.
Happy Winter's Veil, my friend, and to all of our listeners.
Yes. Yes, happy Winter's Veil to all of you. It just started, less than 24 hours ago?
Less than 24 hours ago, yeah.
And if you go to Blizzard's official posting for it, you'll get routed to Wowhead. So they're putting in the extra effort this year. Really appreciate that. So yes, this is our last show of the year, and we decided for this week there's going to be no, believe it or not, for our listeners, there is a fair amount of editing that goes on to put the show on, and we do some different things here and there. But for our end of the year show, our Winter Veil, Christmas, winter break, whatever the fuck you want to call the show, we're just gonna let it ride. So this is no editing.
We're doing it live.
No bullshit.
We're doing it live.
Yeah. We're just gonna be chatting about all things Warcraft as we usually do. We'll touch on some 8.1 stuff that's been going on, what we've been doing, our experience with it so far, looking down the road a bit, and just kind of shooting the shit. However this conversation unfolds, I know I've got some Blantons in a very nice looking multicolored cup over here, so I'm rolling pretty good. What are you drinking over there?
All right, so I'm drinking the I don't drink like hard liquor, so I'm doing I do Coke and I do Di Serono, so I get a cherry Coke flavor because I'm a big wuss when it comes to alcohol.
There's no judgment
so
here. Besides, it's a weeknight.
I don't know. I mean, you listen to that is true. It's a weeknight, and I'll sleep in a little bit in the morning, but, I could probably use this and take the edge off.
God, who couldn't?
Like that.
It's the holiday season. This whole time of year was made for drinking.
It's so true, because that was like the first thing we bought in any of the things we were doing this year. It was alcohol. So I've got Irish cream downstairs. I've got the rum, I've got the Di Serono. I think I need to get some spiced rum. I don't have any spiced rum, but
every year my father-in-law gets the gift of wild turkey from us. So that's oh yeah.
There you go.
Listen, you have to do it. There's no way you can survive this time of year with all the rigmarole that goes on with shopping and all this
Family.
Other nonsense. So
yeah.
So this is going to be a little less formal than our usual episode. We do have some topics we're going to talk about, but we're just kind of shooting from the hip a little bit today, and we'll see where that gets us. But this will be our last episode of the year. We're going to take a little time off for Christmas and New Year's, and we will be back after the new year. We'll have some new stuff going on there. Hope to have an interview for you related to that. And a few other things. So we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But first, we have to do a little bit of rage. Not just about the Christmas season, but there was recently a little bit of the business end of things that changed for one of our fan sites, and one that I use and have used for a very long time, and another which all of us use, I'm pretty sure, especially people who raid, and another one that certainly most people get their news from, in that MMO Champion, Curse, Wowpedia, kind of that family was bought out by Fandom, which is, if you know kind of the relationship of Warcraft lore articles, like those kinds of things, there was always Wowpedia and WowWiki. WowWiki sucks. WowWiki has sucked for a very long time. They haven't even updated the website in like several years, right?
It's the Noxic of the website.
It's not good. And it was that company that bought out Wowpedia. And I am most displeased by this, as I think a lot of people probably are, in that Wowpedia has been a phenomenal resource for a number of years, and I have consulted that website very heavily for a very long time, especially when it comes to trying to get the lore straight and the history on things, because let's face it, the big-ass game like this, it's almost impossible to keep it straight, and God bless the people that work in the vault at Blizzard or wherever the fuck that thing is that they, keep track of all this stuff. But I remember years ago, way back in the olden days, when I was looking to take my raid team on a tour of different places around Azeroth that I thought were points of interest. Wowpedia was the place that I had to go to find out where, hey, isn't there an old god with a knife stuck in its head in Darkshore somewhere? Yeah! How do I get there? What is that thing? What's the history on that thing? Let's go to WowWiki. No, WowWiki stinks. Let's go to Wowpedia. And I not only have not liked WowWiki because of the sort of non-up-to-date versions of pages that you will find, but there's also ads and a bunch of other garbage, and Wowpedia was always the better-looking and more presentable of the two, so It is quite distressing to me that the fandom/wiki company has bought Curse and MMO Champion and Wowpedia and this whole bundle. We've had a lot of negativity in our community lately, and I think you and I have tried to do our best to try to rise above it to some degree, but this is one where I'm probably going to ring a few bells and scream fire, because this is not good. I don't like this change at all. But for you, how often do you actually use? Because MMO Champion, I know you use a lot, and Curse, I'm pretty sure we use a lot. But do you have a take on the Wowpedia versus WowWiki debate that I'm conjuring up here?
At the start of the week when you said, I've got the show notes, I've got the prelim show notes up, and you posted that in there, and you asked me, can you believe this? I said, what? Like, huh? What? Sure, I guess this affects me. But then, I didn't really put a lot of thought into it until I actually went and did a search for something this week when I was working on the Jaina quest line. And I didn't realize that I'm using Wowpedia 90% of the time whenever I'm doing my lore lookup and person of interest lookup, like whenever we do a story on Arthas, or whenever we do a lookup on the most recent one was Tandred Proudmoore. I didn't know who the hell that guy was.
Nobody knows who that guy is.
I had no idea that that video makes so much more sense now that he's like, hey, by the way, this is Tandred Proudmoore, and he was the guy on the ship that was, when Jaina summoned them all back. I had no idea that the Cold Tyrian fleet was, commanded by, Tandred Proudmoore, and it was captured and hidden in a magical storm. I didn't know that this was a fucking magical storm we were dealing with here. And it was, the Tide Sage. Anyway, yeah, so that was all on game. That was all on the Gamepedia Wowpedia site there. Mm-hmm. So that's where I found all that information from. I would have had no idea otherwise.
Yeah,
I use it a lot, and I didn't realize I use it a lot.
And that's the thing is, now you know. It was so valuable, and you didn't even realize what was going on because it was just that seamless. Well, and you even have Blizzard, I believe, linking to Wowpedia from time to time, saying, hey, if you want more information on this, go check out Wowpedia. Or, Wowhead is always the I think, chosen favorite, but Wowpedia being one that's, pretty common. And having been through a situation in my life before professionally where I was with a company that actually bought out another company and having to deal with the changeover in management and how that went, it was awful. And granted, completely different situation, completely different companies, and that does not necessarily mean that this is going to be boo-boo from start to finish, but it worries me greatly because the product I've seen from Fandom has not been great. And for us, we only have so many resources. Granted, you and I remember the days of ThoughtBot when we had practically nothing.
Absolutely.
There was bupkis-ass shit going on then. And if you go on Wowhead right now, if you go to some of the older stuff, you can actually pull up the old ThoughtBot comments because Wowhead bought ThoughtBot and collided them all together. There was Alakazam or whatever the other one was. And,
God, Alakazam.
Now
you're bringing it back.
See,
Jesus, I used Alakazam for EverQuest. I mean, come on.
And that's the thing is this does happen, and Wowhead is arguably the number one resource.
Oh, and, absolutely.
That turned out okay. Other than they too, I think have a plethora of ads that can get somewhat cumbersome unless you pay for the membership, which I have, and it's great. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I know I've seen a couple of articles or posts put up by some of the editors of Wowpedia, and there's a lot of nervous tension going on there. So I wish them all the best. But for this episode, that was the thing that I wanted to say. You know what? Let's rage on that one. But it's not so much rage as just worry, I guess, at the end of the day.
Wikia just made the decision to purchase the competition, so
So what you're trying to tell me is
Disney's been doing this for years. So
is this like when Vince McMahon bought WCW?
Oh man!
And then folded it, and then now years.
Yeah, that's.
You know what? Monday Night Raw is literally going on right now, 15 miles from my house, and all of the McMahon family is there, and I have this twinge of regret.
I was going to say, why aren't you there?
It's another time and another place. I'll tell that story. But yes, there's always going to be that wrestling part of me. But this is a Warcraft show, so we'll stick to that for now. So that's our ragey bit for this episode. But we've got plenty of other stuff to talk about that's fabulous and it's great that's going on. First of which, just a quick plug, a little promotion. The Dark Moon Herald is doing a bit of its own Winter Veil event, right? 12 days of Winter Veil.
Yep. And
we were we were on there, but it hasn't happened yet out in the wild. So we went on about a week ago, talked to Kevin Old Scratch on there, and our episode with him will be coming out, I was told, on the 21st of December, so on Friday of this week, theoretically, day 11, our episode on the Dark Moon Herald will be there. We talked for, 40 minutes-ish?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Talked about past, present, future of our lives in Warcraft and beyond, and I thought it went all right.
I thought it went all right also. Yeah.
So, yeah, I hope you guys will check that out. I have no idea what sort of editing they will do. We have no creative control over that whatsoever. And
I think he said he's going to add a blooper reel.
Yeah,
I think he said it's going to be the only one with a blooper reel on it.
We totally fucked up the intro. So we'll see if he plays that. But yeah, he pull the screen back a little bit and see behind the curtain. He did read the intro, and then we totally botched it because we didn't know which person was supposed to talk first. And so there was dead air, and it was, that'll...
I'm Ron Burgundy.
And fuck you, San Diego. Anyway, so Dark Moon Herald, we will be making an appearance there. Episode should come out on Friday, December 21st, the year of our Odin 2018, so should be good. But let's get on to 8.1. Tides of Vengeance. Been out now for almost a week at the time of this recording, just under a week. There's been, in my mind, plenty for us to do. I have been having a whole bunch of fun with what I've been doing. Been able to make my way through a significant portion of the updates in terms of some story, quest lines, some other things. But beyond all of that, the most important thing, one of the greatest patch changes ever, and it ended up being an undocumented change, and I want you to talk about your love of this as well, is they have added planks to the platform in Borealis for the Alliance to get easier access to the ship and the mission tables.
That's right.
And I believe you even put a little meme picture out there.
I love Plank. That's right. I made a little meme, and if you head on out to my Twitter page at NAV_X, you'll see that there's a little photo of me. I made a little meme that I love Plank, and it harkens back to the I love Lamp from Anchorman. So, yeah. I'm actually really happy with this change. Because,
oh, my God, yeah.
Well, one, I really didn't... I always use heroic leap, so I'd go down that stair and just heroic leap over.
Oh.
But, you have...
Yeah, but then you're off your mount.
Well, yeah, you have a 50-50 chance of making it, and if not, you better be clicking for the rope. It's like, you're either... I don't know who designed that portion, but yeah, it always needed that. I don't know, like, I feel like they started painting at two different ends, and they were just like, oh, shit. What are we going to do here? Well, I don't know. But... Yeah,
it seemed like... There should have been a ramp right there. Like it seems counterintuitive that you'd have to go all the way around. To tell you the truth, for the first month, I didn't even know there was a rope that you could click on. I'm like, God damn, I got to make this big jump, and I can't make it, and it's over the fucking rope, and yeah.
It seems so stupid, but it's the single best thing they added in 8.1. It really is. Quality of life right there. It's
and
great.
You know what? And that is what we talked about on the last episode. This is a quality of life improvement patch. At least the first part of it. But we saw that, and then sort of unrelated to the other main stuff that we were talking about is, and this just finished up within the last 24 hours, I believe, was the hunt for the Hive Mind mount.
Yeah.
Which there's been... for I don't know how long, the secrets channel in Discord where they go around and they hunt all of this stuff. I hadn't actually joined it until this one because I was like, you know what, the Hive Mind thing looks like it's going to be ridiculous. That has to be one of the nuttiest things I've ever watched, and the furor over trying to get. Okay, well, is it over here? We're going to check over here. Nope, it's not down here. And I mean, they're literally checking every corner they can possibly conceive of to find this stuff. It is fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
To watch this.
Yeah. I haven't seen that much coordination since doing legendary items in EverQuest, really. I mean, honestly, that was a coordinated effort, and it was just... it was pretty fun to watch in that Discord channel. Like I'm not a mount collector. Like I'm not a huge mount collector, and I don't think I'm even going to get this mount just because I don't like the way it looks. Don't call me a hater. It's just I don't like the way it looks.
You don't like having a brain to ride around on?
Yeah, the brain with the squid and stuff. It's like Crag, from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But
you mean Krang?
Krang. That's it, not Crag. I thought it was Crag. My bad.
Crag is what happens when you don't wipe. Well enough.
There we go. But I thought it was and Blizzard also put it back in there where you actually need help from your friends to do it. So that, they do listen to the community. So everybody who's crying like I miss I miss the group aspect. I miss this. I miss the legendary item that we have to go get where we need everybody. Well, now you got them out and everybody can help you with it, and hopefully there's going to be more of that to come. So
yeah, it reminded me of, especially the way that it works, is that if you ever watch the Netflix show Sense8, where you have a cluster of people that have this shared connection. It's kind of the same way, where with this mount, apparently the way that it works is the group of 5 people, so it's you and 4 other people that have to do certain portions of the it's not even really a quest line, it's just a series of events. you're now that group of 5. Once you complete it, you're a little cluster, and so when you get together, that's how you get the special speed bonuses and all the other kind of stuff. So you really have to kind of plan that out, or you do it again with a new group, and then that's your cluster.
Yeah.
So you can only have one cluster at a time. You think you're gonna get a group together for that?
No.
No?
No. I'll probably help some other people get it, but I'm not going to go hunt that down. There's
It's
a couple things in the game
insane.
that I don't do that. I haven't done the waste of time. There's a what is that?
It's the transmog belt.
Yeah, the transmog belt. I haven't done that
Big
yet.
clock on it.
Yeah. I mean,
You could be like the Warcraft version of Flavor Flav.
yeah, if that's your jam, cool. It's just, something I'm not going to get into.
Yeah,
To each your own. To each your
I
own.
took one look at that list of shit you got to do, and I was like, you know what? There's none chance I'm doing this. Like, as interesting as that is, there's no way.
Right.
There's just no way. I hope somebody, I hope a group on my raid team will do it. I'm pretty sure that some of them will do it, but yeah, my hat's off to those guys. Not only to the community who gets this done, because the coordination that's required by the community to figure all this out it really is stunning.
Oh yeah.
But to the devs themselves, who are just getting endless amounts of shit right now. That is some of the creative work that they've been doing in the last couple of expansions that I really have come to appreciate more and more as time goes on, because in the era of the data mining that we have, where it's just like everything seems to be known as soon as
right.
patch notes or the patch gets uploaded and people are data mining stuff. Ooh, what's this model and what's this thing? And their ability to put these things in the game without people having 100% pre-knowledge of it it's phenomenal. And I'm so glad they're doing it. And I really hope they continue to do this. And I'm pretty sure that they will, given the overwhelmingly positive response that they've had. And I guess Celestalon, even from the Hearthstone team, has still been involved in this. He was part of planning some of this, I guess. So, but outside of that, we've had all of the main stuff going on for Tides of Vengeance. So we don't have the Dazar'alor raid quite yet, but we have a whole bunch of other good stuff going on. So in the week that we've had, what have you experienced so far in 8.1?
Well, the first thing I did when I got in the game was I immediately I went out to, and y'all are going to kill me for this because I just went out to Teldrassil. I went out to the Warfront area to start that whole quest line, and it's a nice long quest line to actually get to the point where we're actually able to do the Warfront, and it also transitions into the you get the Night Warrior cutscenes and things like that. So that's what I did during that time, and I actually took took part in the Warfront, and then I sat for a couple days, and then did the I did the Jaina quest line, which is really fun. I really enjoyed that a lot, and it just keeps going. Like right when you're done with that, it goes into, and I thought this was the best part of the whole quest, is when you get with Grong. This big King Kong looking gorilla, out in Zoldazar, and I loved that quest. That was really good.
That poor Abe.
And other than that, other than doing everything that was new, I started leveling my alts because the XP buff, came, or nerf, if you want to say, they collapsed the XP a little bit to make it, a little bit easier to level up stuff. So I started leveling up my shaman and some other alts. So, yeah. How about you?
Well, I was actually surprised at how much I got done. The Night Warrior Warfront stuff, I did that first just because I didn't want that owl following me around everywhere. It was just
that creepy owl,
spooking the shit out of me. And I'm like, all right, I got to do this first. I have said this before. I will continue to say this. I am thoroughly enjoying the story in Battle for Azeroth. I know it is not everybody's cup of tea, but
Yeah.
I am digging the shit out of it, and this was just another great part where, yeah, we knew that Tyrande was not really at risk of dying or anything like that, so you knew that she was going to complete the whole Night Warrior,
right, the ritual thing.
yeah. that she was doing. But I really liked it from the sense of, here is a character that even after all this time, we still don't really get a lot of her in World of Warcraft. She's been absent a lot. We don't really get a good sense of her. But now, the heart of her entire civilization has been destroyed, and she is going to go to any length that she can to enact revenge or get justice, whatever you want to call it. And so she undertakes this ritual, and she becomes the Night Warrior, and she's just a complete badass, and she's just rolling in and just blowing shit up. And and then you have the showdown with Sylvanas' boyfriend. And that's right, Kevin. Sylvanas. Sorry. Apparently I need to be corrected. Sylvanas, whatever. Sylvanas. And you see one of the Valkyr go down.
Yep.
So that's going to have some implications, because now I'm not sure that a resurrection is going to be possible for our favorite Queen of the Undead. And Thanos manages to get away and whatever. But that whole quest line leading up to that, I really enjoyed going through and finding out what happened to Tyrande and figuring all of that out. I enjoyed the Warfront as well, because I think unlike Arathi, the Battle for Darkshore is a lot more focused than the Arathi Warfront, and I felt like we were going step to the next step to the next step to the next step. It isn't quite fulfilling the RTS fantasy that I felt like we were promised. So
I get that. I get that.
I played a lot of StarCraft, and that's still kind of how I think about it. I didn't play a lot of the RTS for Warcraft, but I have played a lot of StarCraft, particularly StarCraft 2. And so that, building things and sending guys out, I mean, it is a basic concept that has translated to the Warfronts, but not exactly in the way that I'd hoped. And
What you mean it's not? You mean you're not enjoying it, where it's like maybe 4 or 5 people that are actually doing it, and then the rest of the team is out there trying to cap flags, be the first one to cap the flag?
Yeah, but at the same time, I guess healthy competition is good, right? Because people are out there doing the thing. But I liked this Warfront. It's pretty straightforward. You get a sense of what you're trying to accomplish. You're not having to wander off into the wild and go, oh shit, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. It's like, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to go here, and then you go there. And I was thoroughly entertained. The transmog, I got a couple pieces of that transmog already. I really like it, and I'm not a big night elf.
It's really cool.
Guy. Oh my god,
it's very cool.
It is very cool, and for all of the unlove that the raid tier armor is getting, I still continue to say, well, the Warfront transmog is pretty badass. So maybe that's where all the good stuff went. I don't know. For the Jaina quest line and all of that stuff that was going on, man, they just killed it.
Yes, they did.
I really enjoyed going through all of those quests, and I was so happy that it was not time gated.
Yeah.
All the complaining about everything that's time gated, dude, we were able to go through that whole quest line.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
And you got some sweet photo opportunities for you and Jaina to, blow up some boats and walk away without even looking at the explosions, for which you get an achievement.
Yeah, the whole Pirates of the Caribbean ride shooting gallery with the horde and the cannons. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty funny. And I appreciated that, even amongst all the serious stuff that was going on. But you still get a sense of how bad Jaina is. Like, I cannot wait to see her fully realize just unleashing her fury. We're getting the bits and pieces of it here, and she's going to be a raid boss. But man, coming later, whether it's 8.2 or 8.3 or somewhere else, there's a lot of power still that we haven't seen yet.
Right.
But I enjoyed a lot of that, and going through and being able to continue on our war campaign and doing all that kind of stuff. The story is still the thing that hooks me, and I was pretty excited by that. And in the course of doing all of those things, I got exalted with 7 Legion, and now I have my Dark Iron Dwarves.
Awesome.
So finally got to roll through that. What a fun little quest line that was.
Yeah,
and
it was.
Again, going through that, I'm like, man, the devs are continually getting savage, but this is really fun. This is kind of cool. You're going back through Molten Core and you're blowing stuff up. But you did that how long ago?
That was about a month or 2 ago I did that. Yeah, but I mean, I was trying to bang out that 7th Legion fleet so I could get the Dark Iron Dwarves. And then when I got them, I was like, oh man, I don't really feel like leveling another alt at the moment. And I wanted to, there are a lot of things and that I wanted to do, and leveling. I want to experience the Horde side of the story just from a High Mountain Tauren or the Magar Orcs, but I can't do any of that because you have to unlock those tunes. The Magar Orcs. I don't care how I'm saying it. Whatever. It's you have to get the same Horde side equivalent to the 7th Legion to unlock those guys. So, I'll work on that eventually now that the XP's, I like leveling tunes. Like, I'll log in a nav and I'll play them and do the daily. I don't even do daily quests anymore. Like, I log in, I do some raids, I do some dungeons, I hang out with my friends. But then I really do enjoy leveling the alts, and the fact that they fix some classes, they tune some classes, they tune the XP. It'll make things fun for me. When I'm just looking to do, piddly ass quests, put on a movie on Netflix, sit down, level a tune. I like doing that stuff. So, I'm really looking forward to leveling my Dark Iron Dwarf finally. So,
have you had a chance to do any incursions yet?
The incursions, yes, and I did it in war mode. And let me tell you,
war mode. Look at the set of nuts on you.
Let me tell you, because you get a quest. You got a quest right off the bat from Matthias Shaw on the ship. He gives you a quest to go kill 25 Horde. And it just so happened that the incursion was in the same zone. I think it was just in general you had to kill 25 Horde. But it all worked out the same way. I went over to Drusvar, and there was a group over there. They're like, hey, everybody who's interested in doing this world PvP, doing the incursion, meet up here where the Champions of Azeroth world quest is taking place. And we just, man, that was so much fun because the balance is definitely there again, where you're not, at least for me, I don't feel like I'm running around alone anymore in war mode. And I'm also getting a lot of group invites and things like that to kill the Horde. I still haven't got my Horde Slayer title yet. I don't know if I will this expansion. We'll see. I still haven't got the quest, even though I kill a lot of Horde. I'm just not getting the quest in order to.
What's required for that?
I think you have to be in a group of 5 people, and you have to kill like 10 or 11 Horde and not die. And then a quest will pop up. And guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is how it works. You get a group of 5. Quest pops up after you kill like 10 or 11 Horde. And then you're the assassin, and then you have to kill so many more Horde or something like that, and then you eventually get that Horde Slayer title. But yeah, I mean, I think rogues have it easy because once they get the assassin, once they get that assassin, whatever it is, on them, they can just stealth and move all around the map. And all you do is you see this little helmet, and none of the demon hunters want to use their spectral sight to, find them. But I'm having a lot of fun with that. So yeah, those selfish bastards, they sacrifice everything, even our fun. But yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance yet, but I'm looking forward to jumping in on those. And like you said, now with the XP changes, I can finally get going on my alts, and I really want to get a set of that armor from the Dark Iron Dwarves. It's so amazing. The Dark Iron Dwarves and the regular Dwarven armor that just came out. That's why I'm leveling my the Heritage armor is the only reason. Well, it's not the only reason. I do like playing my Shaman. I like leveling him up with 2 axes. He's really cool. But that armor is amazing. Yeah. That Heritage armor. So, yeah. I'll put in a lot of time for some good transmog. Yeah. Exactly. Well, other than that, in 8.1, we did have a couple of other sort of random things. One being, and we talked about this before, is the fact that up until now, Warcraft has been limited in terms of processor utilization to one core, right? So if you have,
I think it was limited to 4 cores. I think it was limited to 4 cores total.
Was it 4 total? Because I thought it was just 1. And then what this did in this last patch was it opened up so you could use multiples.
Yeah, this one I think now uses up to 12. I think it can use up to 12, I believe, because it's multi-threading with DX12. And
you're the tech guy, so you know this better than I do.
You have to be running Windows 10 and have a compatible CPU and graphics card,
which I do.
And you'll go into the setting. You'll go into your settings and then click on Advanced, and then in there you're going to see all the settings. So, by the way, if your graphics look a little janky at the moment, all you need to do is update your NVIDIA drivers. Even if you go out there and you look, this looks a little pixelated, your multi-sampling was likely turned off or disabled. Just go in there and turn your multi-sampling on. But in the advanced settings, you can see that there's all of the new settings that make the game. If you're like, the game looks a little bit crisper, the game's running a little bit better, I'm getting more frame rates, this is the section that you want to, change your FPS and things like that. Your max foreground FPS, your max background FPS. You can uncheck either one of those options and just max it out if you want to. You can adjust the contrast, the brightness, the gamma, and all that kind of stuff. But there is a definite change in the way your character looks in game and the way the game looks right now compared to a week ago when we didn't have this. The game's running a lot better. Our characters look a little bit sharper, and overall I think it's a huge increase in performance to the game. Our characters load instantly now too. They fixed that. I don't know if you noticed that. When you click on your character menu, your guys just load up. You can switch realms and they just load up.
I don't know if I've necessarily had any problems with that. I think I've seen about a 10 frame per second increase in Borealis, which I guess is fairly normal. But I was hoping, I'll be quite frank, I was hoping for more. I mean, considering all of the crap that I put into this supercomputer, I was hoping, we're just going to max out at 200 FPS and,
all you got to do is turn off. Okay, so
I know you can turn down a bunch of stuff and make it higher, but,
No. I'm telling you, turn off vertical sync uncheck the max foreground and max background FPS settings under the advanced settings, and then you are golden. You will go in game and you'll see 160 something frames per second. You'll go in there, you'll just blow it up if that's what you want to do. So in graphics, the original graphics settings, turn off vertical sync. You don't want that on. Then go into the advanced settings and then uncheck both max foreground FPS and then max background FPS. And you'll like that. That'll get you where you need to be. So, yeah, I'm having fun playing with those things.
Well, now there was a little bit of controversy regarding back to our favorite Plank edition. That there were, as usual, there are always undocumented changes. Like the patch notes are never 100%. Like there's always other stuff that goes on. But it seemed like there was an awful lot of stuff that didn't get added this time around. And they mentioned that on the Q&A that they had a couple of days ago, because people were like, hey, like, what's going on with this? Does that ever bother you, or do you think that we're getting the vast majority of what we should get?
I'm okay with what we're getting with the notes, and then if somebody wants to document undocumented things, it's just like a little surprise for me. I'm not the type of person to go out there and go, undocumented changes? What the hell? Why aren't they being upfront with us? What the heck? Make Warcraft great again. Why are you being so secretive? What the hell? No, I don't care. Like, I really don't care. Like, I know that there were some things like Elixir of Tongue for the our peers because it broke, chat broke. There was a chat that allowed our peers to chat among Horde and Alliance, and that broke, and they added an Elixir of Tongues that people can use. And little things like that. It doesn't really, it's not really concerning me, and I don't really feel like the devs are not being upfront with us.
Those slippery devils.
Yes, slippery bastards.
So transitioning now out of sort of our fun that we've been having so far with 8.1, which listen, I know people are having their problems, and we got to wait for the raid and blah, 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 blah. But so far from what I've seen, it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised they didn't make a bigger announcement about the fact that our artifact knowledge is not increasing automatically. They put the halt on that for reasons that make perfect sense in that they don't want to get too far ahead, right? But we did have a Q&A with Ian and Lore a couple of days ago, back on the 14th, and they talked about a whole number of things. They talked about the cross-faction communication, which you just mentioned. There was some information given out about mythic keystones and stuff that was going on with those, and a couple of other mythic-related items. But for me, the one piece that I wanted to talk about, going back to our Azerite gear, and in relation, the Heart of Azeroth. So,
yes,
what it sounds like, and they were light on details, Ian was at the very least, was that coming in 8.2, so we're going to look down the road, is that essentially, starting in 8.2, all of the Azerite traits on our Azerite gear are going to be unlocked. So,
yay.
We're not necessarily going to have to worry about that anymore. But the more interesting part of this, and this is what I want to get your thoughts on, is it sounds like what they're thinking about doing is making our Heart of Azeroth, which apparently is going to tie more heavily into the main storyline, like our old artifacts from Legion, in the sense that there may be abilities or other things that we're going to be working towards unlocking.
Yay.
So
I'm on board.
I'll take that response as, what do you think about that? And what do you have any idea about what kind of goals or rewards you think would be worth working towards to make that something that people give a shit about?
Absolutely. I think, it would be fun to be able to mix up certain abilities between your different specs even. I would think, like, for example, I'm just shooting off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So, Fury Warriors, when you hit Whirlwind, you get a buff that allows you to hit 2 more of your abilities that will automatically AoE everything in its path, right? Now, Arms Warriors has something similar, but you're only hitting, a mob and a secondary mob. It would be nice to be able to maybe, if Arms had that ability in Arms spec that you get in Fury, it would be kind of neat to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I loved the artifact weapon system. It gave me something to do. It gave me something to work for that I felt like I was working for. I knew that if I was going to put power, I knew that if I was going to go hunt down this power, that my character was going to be stronger. Now, because it's very lackluster right now, because you're just going out there and getting artifact power, and sure, I unlocked an ability on my shoulder. I unlocked an ability on my my head. I unlocked it, so on and so forth. It's not the same feeling as being able to, oh, hey, this single ability over here that I can put points into is definitely going to make my character more powerful. It's not tied to any armor. It's tied to myself. And I actually did like that. And I know that we lost a lot of things, and a lot of things got baked into our tunes going into Battle for Azeroth. So I liked the system that we had in Legion. I'm happy to see it somewhat, return in whatever rendition they give us. And, it's the possibilities of it are really, whatever they could think of at this point to make our characters powerful or something to work for that doesn't actually overtune the game too much. Because, the devs don't want to get into a position where they're class balancing constantly because, oops, we gave this class something and this is a one-hit wonder and now this guy's blowing up this guy and, it's...
Are you trying to tell me I'm not going to get Odin's Fury back? Damn it.
I don't know. Maybe it'll be like single-minded Fury. Maybe it's a single-minded Fury transmog. We could work
Maybe they'll
for something
bring Gladiator
like
stance back.
There we go. A Gladiator stance. There's another option. Something like that. So, there's definite possibilities, where this can go from. So,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, but I appreciate that they're trying to continue to correct something that just has not landed with the player base. And I know I've said this on here before, is that I don't necessarily have a problem with it. It's just not a main focus like the Artifact was, and I was okay with it. But clearly I'm in the minority because people just are just so unhappy. And granted, we talked about this last episode, is that there is a certain amount of an echo chamber that goes on where it feeds into itself. But this Azerite system has just not worked out well with the player base, and people are just unhappy with it. And so I'm glad to see they're trying something. Maybe it is a patch too late, I don't know, but we haven't even seen what it's going to turn into. So at least we're looking forward and saying, hey, there's something coming down the line, because you're still going to have 8.2. You're still going to have 8.3 probably. I mean, there's still a lot of life left in this expansion. So if you could at least make a good, significant course correction, halfway through, maybe a little bit before halfway through the expansion, I think we can live with that.
Yeah.
But before we look forward, why don't we take a little look back? Since this is our last episode of the year, I thought maybe we could just kind of do a little year in review and just kind of reminisce about the year in Warcraft that was, and maybe some of our favorite moments along the way. And this won't be an exhaustive list, but just some of the highlights of where we've gone in 2018. And if you'll recall, when the year started, we were still in the Antorus raid. It had come out about a month before the end of the year. I think it was late November, and you had some unlocks happening depending on the wing and LFR and mythics and whatnot in December. But people were still making pretty good progress through the first part of the year on Antorus, and I don't quite remember when we finished. It took us several months to get through it, but were you guys pretty locked in on Antorus at the beginning of the year? I can't quite remember.
Yeah, we were actually working on the last boss we killed was the mythic hunter guy. I forget what his name was. He was, he had the bridge that he was the only hunter. He was like 3 boss, or maybe he was like 3rd boss to the end. God, I cannot think of the guy's name at the moment, but he was the last boss we killed on Mythic.
Yeah, so we had that going on, and that took us into, I don't know, pretty much, the rest of the year as far as rating went. But you did have a patch that came mid-January. We had the 7.3.5 patch, and that's where we started getting a lot of that Silithus stuff getting added in, because now we had a big giant sword plunged into the planet. Yeah. We had to figure out, and we didn't get this until much later, but the beginning of the quest line that eventually took us to where we overpowered our artifact at the time and started getting all those batshit crazy numbers on all of the... watching that counter tick, it was like watching the national debt thing click. It's like, this sucker's gonna start smoking. And then later in January we had the Battle for Azeroth pre-purchase, which at the time I recall I was trying to hold out because of the collector's edition deal, and then it didn't matter, and I ended up buying it anyway, so that worked out. And then we didn't really have a lot going on until about March, and then we had the Volume 3 of the Chronicles come out, covering Burning Crusade, Wrath, Cataclysm, and we're about a week away from Christmas here as we record this. And if you are looking for a Christmas gift and you know someone who plays this game, get those Chronicle books. They are so freaking good. And I know that they kind of creatively retconned a few things within them. Well, then fine. Be in the know. Read the damn things. There's some phenomenal art in there. There's some really great storytelling just to, if nothing else, get you caught up on the history of the game. But really, really enjoyed that. But then it was in May where we really started to get the ramp up to Battle for Azeroth going, because we had the pre-expansion comics going on with Jaina and Magni. We started getting some teasers, I think, for the Warbringers. But then in June, we got the Before the Storm novel, which covered that whole period of time right before the expansion, really giving you some insight into how dark a turn that Sylvanas was taking. It was still, again, a very good book. And again, if something that you're looking for is a gift for a Warcraft player, Before the Storm, great book. Christy Golden, she's phenomenal. We love her. I highly recommend you pick it up. So that took us through June. And then in July, we started getting our Warbringer shorts, which introduced us to the Daughter of the Sea song, which has taken the world by storm.
Bigger than Frozen.
It was... I have not heard as many covers of any Frozen songs as I have of Daughter of the Sea.
That's right.
So, do you have a favorite cover of that
Oh,
song,
the heavy metal one. Yes, the heavy metal one. I don't know the gentleman's name off the top of my head. If we were editing the show, I'd go out there and get the name of the gentleman.
This is the Scar Production, the Scar guy?
Yes,
Scar?
thank you. Yes,
Yep.
yes. Scar Productions, yes.
So, we had those going on. And then in, mid-July, that's when we started going down the very controversial road of the War of the Thorns questline that ultimately led us going up to the burning of Teldrassil right before the launch and all hell breaking loose in the Warcraft community. And we certainly touched on that here many times. But for one last time in 2018, reflecting back on that quest line, on how all of that went down, have you had any additional thoughts on all of that controversy other than we all knew this was coming and people just need to chill out?
Yeah, it's funny to think back on that, how we're just like, wow, Teldrassil is going to be gone. Wow, Undercity is going to be gone. And it really didn't matter. Like in the long run, like afterwards, it's just like, you could still go talk to one of the golden dragons and go back and see what's going on. And there's a part of me that in the end of all of this, in the end of all the chaos that we're dealing with right now, once we, heal Azeroth, I have a feeling maybe we would be surprised at some point where Azeroth is thanking everybody and another world tree is spawned or the world tree is fixed or something. And then, Lordaeron is there somewhere and I don't know. So... But yeah, it is funny to look back and think that that the Warcraft team created all the chaos, and then we as the player base bought into it, and it was like, oh my god, I hate everybody, I hate the Horde, and it's like,
little did they know that Azerite armor was coming. The real scourge of Battle for Azeroth, not Sylvanas. Not the old gods.
Why didn't somebody add a plank here? Why do I keep falling into the water when I'm trying to get to my mission table? This is terrible. This is worse than the world tree burning.
But amongst all of that, we did get a big surprise in the Old Soldier cinematic, which came out alongside the Siege of Lordaeron, which we ended up going through and doing that. And that was one of the biggest surprises, I think, and probably the highlight, at least one of the highlights, certainly for me, for Warcraft this year, was totally unexpected. And I will never forget you messaging me about that, or me going, what is this? Like, what is this? Did I miss it? Oh my god, this is a fully rendered cinematic. Like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
But we had that. And we also had the Lost Honor cinematic that was debuted at BlizzCon this year, which, probably was the highlight of Warcraft. For Warcraft at BlizzCon in my mind. I mean, it was so much of it was overshadowed by the Diablo 3, or not Diablo 3, the Diablo Immortal boondoggle. Yeah. But yeah, in November we had Lost Honor, we had BlizzCon where we got to come face to face with some of the stuff coming up that we're doing now. Some of the stuff that's coming in 8.1.5, 8.2, 8.2.5, I think, is also in there a little bit, leading us up to right now in December with patch 8.1. So, looking back now, having just looked back at briefly some of the highlights and benchmarks of the year that was. Is there anything in particular that sticks out as the singular highlight for you for World of Warcraft or the Warcraft franchise in 2018?
Yep, the devs don't care. They don't give us any content whatsoever.
Oh, well, that is true. That is true. They're just.
With the laundry list that you just gave me, the devs don't care about any of us. They don't give us anything.
Mm-mm.
No, it's been an incredible 2018 for Warcraft. And, it just goes to show that when, times look dark in Warcraft, the Warcraft team just comes and pulls it right out and brings new life back into the game. But the one, I'm trying to think of something that just really stands out. I will say this. The one thing that does stand out is Anduin stepping into that role, and he is, he's the king of Stormwind, and he's no longer this. I see people pissing and moaning on the forums. Oh, this boy king is ruining the game for me. Really? I mean,
you were on those RP forums again.
Oh my God! No, it's the Warcraft forums. Which are awesome now. By the way, I love the new forum out. I love the new forums, but that's for another talk.
That's
for another
right.
Time.
They updated
the forums. Yes, and it's a lot of forum posts update live when you're out there, so you can post something and then you'll just see people posting right underneath you live. So it's great, and you'll get little pop-up notifications and everything. So yeah, I've been spending a little bit more time out there on forum, but I like the storyline of Anduin. I'm interested to see what transpires from there. I'm looking forward to I want to see some of the predictions that we made come to life. I just want to be like, we all knew it. This is what's happening. Yay. And, things like that. So, but what about you?
What Talia get married?
Yeah, exactly. We'll retcon that and we'll do an episode.
Pally babies. Yeah, I think
safe sex bubble. Boom.
I think the highlight for me really has been seeing Anduin on the Alliance side, Anduin coming into his own.
Yeah.
And the moment from the intro cinematic where, he's leading the Alliance armies, for me, it's important as somebody who lives and dies by, the legend of Varian Wren, to see the son now pick up the mantle and run with it and do what he's got to do. It's really been a highlight for me to watch that evolution and to watch that story unfold. And on the Horde side, seeing Sarfang really getting his due, because that guy, Horde or Alliance, that guy's a legend. That character is just a fucking legend when it comes to this game. And to see him finally get a light shown on him and get a moment in the sun, I think that's phenomenal. And I don't know that he's necessarily going to be the next war chief, because I'm not even sure he survives this expansion.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting that feeling too.
Yeah, but whatever comes next, I hope that whoever it is that takes that lead role next will be able to continue to embody that spirit, because I think ultimately that, hell, maybe it's Thrall coming back. Who fuck knows? Maybe Metzen really is going to get his wish. But that's the Horde that I can understand and I can have a tune with. Is you're bound by honor, you're bound for all of these communal reasons. The belief that you're a group of outcasts and you're coming together to survive. I mean that's you can get behind pretty easily.
Yeah.
And right now, just being super aggro and burning shit down, and it's all a quest of survival and in a really dark way. That gets a little tougher, but these cinematics that we got, watching the evolution of the story, and in my mind, continuing to see, right or wrong, the elevation of Warcraft from a storytelling perspective, I can't get enough of, and I'm still super pumped and excited about what's coming. So, looking now down the road, looking at 2019, we know that we're going to have patch 8.2, The Rise of Ashara, which is going to bring us Najatar finally in game, something that we know about but haven't seen. But then the creation of something new with Mechagon and the Mechanomes, which, listen, maybe that's not for everybody, but I'm kind of pumped by that because it's something totally new.
Right, something totally new.
Totally new, totally unexpected. All of that's going to come in 8.2. And then, what do you think? Do we get an 8.3? Is it Old Gods?
This whole thing could, for a non-Old God expansion, there's going to be some Old God action in here somewhere. So,
well, we are going to get the smaller raid.
Maybe in 8.3 we'll see some more, because we're going to wrap this up with I'm still holding out for some Lich King action, and I don't know if this expansion is going to trickle over into the next expansion, and maybe we don't have resolution in this expansion. Every expansion has come to fruition. Maybe this one it doesn't happen, and maybe we have to go into the next expansion. Who knows?
That is
we'll
possible. See. That is possible, but we've got more raids coming. We've got the battle for Dazar'alor coming as still part of this patch, and maybe that'll keep people sated for a little while until 8.2 comes around. But that probably won't be till July.
Yeah,
be my guess, June, July, and then maybe we'll get some whiff of 8.3 by the end of the year, and who knows? By that time, a year from now. Next November, they have BlizzCon. Maybe Unshackled Fury will have a presence at BlizzCon. We'll have to see, but it's looking pretty good that somebody will be there. One of us will be there. And maybe we'll get an expansion announcement at BlizzCon. That'd be the one thing that I have yet to see, but we'll find out. And most importantly, for 2019, for this show. It was my goal that in 2018, this past year, is that I just wanted to try to make sure that we were getting regular shows out, because that's something that is a challenge. And from a content creator standpoint, just having a regular schedule and getting shows out, that in and of itself is a challenge. And out of the, I think, 25 possible episodes that you and I could have put out this year, this will be 22. So,
wow.
We were pretty regular this year in terms of our production schedule, and I'm very happy with that. And looking forward down the road, like I said, the first episode of the year, we're going to have something new.
I'm so excited for that. I am so excited for that. I mean, for real. Wow.
It's going to be rad. And no, we're not interviewing Chris Metzen. It's not to that level. So just, temper your expectations some degree. Yeah. But we will have something new. Before the show, it'll be immediately obvious what it is. And we'll have, hopefully, an interview coinciding with that, like I said earlier. But more than that, going into 2019, we want to start doing a few more things to add some more flavor to this show. Where, we do our rage thing, we do the news thing. But there are, as I've said many times, there are opportunities for other ideas to do different things with the show, with any podcast related to Warcraft. And I want to start dipping our toes more into those waters as we go. And I've got some ideas, and we've got some ideas. So there should be some more new and hopefully fun things happening next year for Unshackled Fury. And I hope that all of you will come along for that ride as you have been. And hopefully we'll pick up a few more interested parties as we go. But looking ahead to 2019, outside of all that, what are you looking forward to the most in the year to come?
You know what? I am just looking forward to podcasting with you more, my friend. This has been a fun 2018. Looking forward to more of it in 2019. So this is, it's podcasting is it's a fun creative outlet, and it definitely does meet a creative outlet for me, at least, because we get to play Warcraft and we get to talk about Warcraft. And I know it's
and now you're an influencer.
No, I'm an influencer.
that was the highlight of your 2018. Come on.
You know what that was pretty fun. That was pretty neat to have Blizzard send us that stuff from Intel. That was really neat. And yeah. Yeah, that was really no. I won't say it wasn't. So,
well, yeah, man, we're running with full speed ahead. So I think 2019 is going to be another big year for us. I think things are only looking bigger and brighter as long as we keep doing what we're doing. And again, thank you for everyone. Thank you to everyone for coming along. And before we go, this is a Christmas show, right?
Yeah.
And what is Christmas known for? What happens at Christmas that everybody gets excited about?
The silent majesty of a winter's morn, the clean, cool chill of holiday air, an asshole in a bathrobe emptying his chemical toilet into the sewer?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. What is the one thing that every child and most adults really enjoy about Christmas?
Family.
It's getting gifts.
Oh, come on.
It's getting gifts. Come on, where have you been? Where have you been? So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give away a surprise gift right now. And you don't know about this because I'm just doing this right here on the spot.
Shooting from the hip.
Because this is what happens on a live show. So we have recently just had announced in Warcraft a new mount. Have you seen it?
Yes, I've seen it.
The Vulpine Familiar.
Yes.
Pretty cool fox mount, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Well, I would like to reward one of our most loyal listeners who goes by the name of Jer. He's somebody who has listened to this show, as far as I know, for quite some time. Every episode, always comments, always very engaged with us. So, Jer, congratulations. You have won yourself a Vulpine Familiar mount for being one of our most ardent and loyal followers. So please, message Nav, message myself, and claim your Winter's Veil prize. Congratulations on our not giveaway, just surprise gift. And thank you for listening. Tell your friends and enjoy your mount. So there, haha! We're giving awesome shit away. I better stop now or else I'm going to start giving away more. So, with all of that being said, I think that kind of wraps it up for this year for us. We've had a very exciting year. Lots of stuff that we've been working on, and I think we've been pretty successful in getting this thing out and trying to get the word out about
you busting your ass.
The power of Unshackled Fury is really the power of us all. So before we head out, my friend, is there any last word from you on Warcraft, on 2018 and this episode?
No, just a huge thanks to all of our listeners and supporters of the Unshackled Fury podcast. It's fun to be able to interact with all of you. It's fun when you email us. It's fun when you communicate with us online on Twitter and stuff like that. And we're looking forward to doing more stuff with everybody in 2019. And if there's anything, you would like us to talk about, if there's anything in particular you'd like us to read off, just shoot it into the show, send us your ideas. We're looking for anything like that. And other than that, it's like I said, bud, it's been a fun 2018 and I'm looking forward to 2019.
Yes, sir. Yes, and thank you as well from me to all of our listeners. You guys are why we do this. We hope that we're entertaining to some degree, informative to another, and keeping folks in the know and excited about the game that keeps us rolling every day. And my thanks to you as well, sir, for being my co-pilot on this crazy ass ride that we're on. Thanks as well to the World of Podcasts folks, the Calm Before the Storm folks, again, for having us participate in one of their panels for BlizzCon this year. That was a lot more meaningful than I had expected, and I really do appreciate that. Ro in particular, Seraphis and Sia for getting us wrapped up in that. That was a pleasant surprise, and I hope that if there's another show going on in 2019 that we could collaborate on that as well. I also want to thank Blizzard, any folks that may happen to be listening from the parent company of all of this, thank you guys for all of your hard work and dedication on this game that we love. And, listen, we don't always have to agree all the time, but we're all pulling in the same direction. And I really appreciate all of the love and effort and work that the good folks down in Irvine are putting forth to keep our favorite game rolling. Because, listen, like I said, people can have their differences, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So, with all of that being said, thank you to all. Hope everyone has a great winter veil and a good holiday season. We will be back probably about mid-January, first part of January. Not entirely sure yet, but don't worry, we will be back in the early part of 2019. So, before we go, other than this fine program, where can the good people find you on the internet, Navox?
You can find me over on Twitch and Twitter. I am at NAV_OX.
As for me, you can always find me on Twitter at Berzerker Rage. Feel free to contact the show with your questions, comments, or otherwise at unshackledfuryshow@gmail.com. And you can find this show on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify. So once again, thank you for listening. Remember to keep your swords wet and your banners high, and we will see you in the new year. Farewell.